Welcome to today's Explainer. I want you to close your eyes for a second and just imagine the heavy, sweet, completely hypnotic smell of the night-blooming jasmine. You probably know it as the Ratrani. As the sun sets, you know how its fragrance just dissolves into the evening air? It's so sweet, so absolutely magical, that if you're sitting inside your house, you might feel this invisible, almost irresistible pull, telling you to step outside into the dark. It feels like this unseen presence wrapping around your street. But as we dig into the source material today, we're going to uncover why this incredibly captivating scent might actually be hiding something deeply, deeply sinister.
Not every fragrance is pure. With some, old shadows awaken. Well, just let that chilling thought linger for a moment. The folklore we're dissecting today comes with a massive warning. When the Ratrani blooms, it doesn't just wake up the night sky. It awakens old shadows, ancient curses, and trapped screams.
Okay, let's dive right into this. On one hand, you have the common, everyday perception of the Ratrani. Innocent, tiny, pure white flowers, usually planted in courtyards because, well, people believe they bring positive energy and peace. But on the flip side, the source folklore reveals a much, much darker reality. According to these old tales, in houses where sudden violent deaths have happened, where screams were literally trapped in the walls, the Ratrani blooms the absolute strongest. They say that in the dead of night, when the wind just completely stops, this scent isn't a blessing, it's actually a curse creeping up right behind you.
Part 1. A Terrifying Birthday, 11:30 p.m. at the Forbidden Garden.
So picture this. We're introduced to Elise and her fiancé Ritvik. It's 11:30 at night, it's Elise's birthday, and Ritvik has planned this ultimate romantic surprise. He brings her to a place absolutely bathed in her favorite scent, a place ominously named Ratrani Bog, or the night-blooming jasmine garden. But immediately, right off the bat, there are massive red flags that the couple just entirely ignores. First, there's a huge board that literally reads, "Strictly prohibited." Then, as Ritvik is placing a flower in Elise's hair, this old watchman appears out of nowhere, practically begging them to leave because the place is cursed. The couple brushes him off, laughing it off as just a spooky story. And then, the true horror starts. Before the watchman can even explain what is coming for them, smack, an invisible, incredibly forceful slap strikes the old man right across the face. Handprints literally appear on his cheek out of thin air. An unseen, supernatural entity has just made its first violent move, and the pacing of our story is about to drastically accelerate.
Part 2. The Cursed Garden and Terror. The trap closes in.
Now, what's really interesting about this part of the lore is how methodically this supernatural force isolates its prey. It cuts off every single avenue of escape. Ritvik and Elise, finally terrified out of their minds, run to their bike. But step 1, the bike mysteriously fails to start, even though it was perfectly fine 2 minutes ago. Step 2, they notice a sudden, inexplicable hole in the petrol tank. The fuel drains out, and out of absolutely nowhere it ignites into this massive wall of fire, consuming the dry grass like a hungry python. And step 3, this is the truly chilling visual transformation. In the glow of those flames, those innocent milk-white Ratrani flowers suddenly appear blood red. The air gets freezing cold despite the blazing fire, and the scent grows so incredibly heavy it literally starts choking Elise.
And then this unnatural, echoing laughter surrounds them. Eliza trips, and a thick, deep, black smoke just erupts from the bushes. It wraps tightly around her, violently dragging her into the dark, tangled thickets of the garden. Ritvik jumps straight through the flames to save her, but in a matter of seconds, the fire, the smoke, and Eliza are just gone, entirely gone. The garden falls dead silent. The only thing Ritvik finds on the cold ground is the single Ratrani flower he had put in Eliza's hair, but now it's completely blackened, like it had been buried in a centuries-old grave.
Part 3. The 500-year-old curse, the Watchman's Tale.
So Ritvik is just left there, screaming into the silent garden, until the old watchman steps back out of the shadows to reveal the horrifying history hidden right beneath the soil. The watchman tells him it's too late. She's gone forever. And to understand why, we have to trace this timeline back half a millennium. 500 years ago, King Ranjay Singh ruled Mahawatnagar. He was deeply, deeply in love with his wife, Queen Mrinalini, whose beauty made neighboring kings insanely envious. But the queen had a terrifying vanity. She was entirely obsessed with maintaining her eternal youth. And this obsession? That's the catalyst for our whole tragedy. It starts when a dark sorcerer named Bhadrakal arrives at the palace, offering her a very twisted solution.
Hadrakal introduces the queen to a ritual called the Rakt Manjari Sadhana. This is a dark magic practice meant to grant eternal youth, but the cost is just unfathomable. It requires feeding a magical subterranean Ratrani plant, not with water, not with soil, but with human blood. Specifically the blood of pure, innocent souls. Actually, scratch that. It's not just a ritual, it's a massive, endless cycle of murder. And this makes perfect sense of our modern timeline. This is exactly why Elise, on her birthday, was targeted by this ancient evil.
So, the crucial point here is the methodology of this 500-year-old dark magic. The sorcerer's instructions were terrifyingly precise. Step 1. Capture a pure-souled girl on Amavasya, the night of the new moon. Step 2. Sacrifice her to the magical Ratrani vines hidden deep in the palace dungeon. Step 3. Extract the mystical nectar produced by those blood-fed flowers to keep the queen eternally young. It's a ruthless cycle that is perpetuated for centuries, right under everyone's noses.
Part 4. Badrakal's Dungeon. The ritual begins.
All right, snapping back to the present day, the earth violently splits wide open right where Eliza vanished, revealing these ancient hidden stairs. Ritvik, without even hesitating, plunges into the dark. He lands in this vast underground stone dungeon, but the walls aren't made of rock. They're entirely woven from thick, pulsing Ratrani vines, and right in the center, lying completely unconscious on a massive stone altar, is Elise. But Ritvik isn't alone down there. Hovering over the altar is this dark, shadowy figure, the ancient spirit of the sorcerer Badrakal himself, still carrying out his gruesome duty 500 years later.
The sorcerer's spirit looks dead at Ritvik and utters this incredibly chilling line. Today, after 500 years, a pure soul is found. Her blood will quench Queen Mrinalni's thirst. I mean, the dread in this moment is absolute. Elisa hasn't just been kidnapped. She's been carefully, meticulously selected as the perfect vessel for this ancient horror.
Ritvik obviously screams. He charges forward to save her, but with just a wave of Badrakal's hand, dark magic slams Ritvik against the stone wall. It pins him there, totally helpless, forcing him to watch. A magical Ratrani bud begins to bloom right near Eliza's neck, and as the petals open, they shift from white to a deep, horrifying red, literally sucking the life force and blood directly out of her body.
Part 5. A tragic and terrifying end. The Queen awakens.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how ruthless this curse is. There is no last-minute Hollywood rescue here. A blinding flash of light fills the entire dungeon. When it finally fades, the sorcerer's spirit is just gone. Ritvik drops to the floor, he rushes over to Elise. But the physical transformation is horrific. Her skin is completely drained of blood, turning this stark, unnatural white. When she opens her eyes, she is no longer human. Her pupils have literally transformed into white Ratrani flowers. And then she smiles. But it isn't Eliza's smile. It is the cold, incredibly vain smile of the ancient Queen Mrinalni, who has successfully taken over a brand new, youthful body.
But the ultimate cruelty, that happens next. The possessed body leans in and whispers right into Ritvik's ear. "Thank you, Ritvik, for bringing my new prey." Before he can even process the grief, the shock, the horror of that, the body dissolves entirely into smoke. It just vanishes into thin air, leaving Ritvik completely alone in the dungeon with nothing but the overpowering, bloody scent of the night-blooming jasmine. Which brings us back to the devastating present day. Ritvik never recovered. The source text tells us that to this very day, he wanders madly outside the gates of the Ratrani bog. He clutches withered flowers in his hands, just staring into the dark, eternally waiting for an Alize who will never, ever return. It's a permanent, absolutely tragic testament to the power of a 500-year-old curse.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. We've seen how a beautiful, entirely innocent-looking flower can just be the mask for a centuries-old terror. So the next time it's late at night, the wind stops, and that heavy, sweet scent of the Ratrani drifts through your window, will you stay safely in your bed, or will that scent pull you out of your house and into the dark? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating, chilling lore with me. Keep asking questions, and I'll see you in our next explainer.